Hello and welcome to the Astropub, your space bar at the end of the universe. Let me fix my camera here. I had some problems with my camera earlier. Right. That's better. That's more like it. Welcome, everybody. How y'all doing? There we go. How's it going, Info Runners? How's it doing there, X? So, we're going to be doing a pub talk today. How that works is the pub talk is where I let you come on and have a conversation. So, like, having y'all, if y'all want to come on and talk and have your thoughts about it. So this is probably going to be a little bit shorter than average. Just because this is sort of like I couldn't get anybody because I forgot to promote the topic. I need to start planning these out ahead of time and getting people, but it's difficult to do. Oh, juggling a lot of stuff. Yeah. Loving the funeral director look. Thank you. I figured it's an appropriate look for medical system. So we'll be playing a little bit beforehand, but I do want to know y'all's thoughts on the medical system, the medical updates. I'm still working on that video that I recorded on the capsule. Yes, I know. It's a matter of, it wouldn't be too difficult if I had the same people every week, but I try to keep things different, and so as a result, I end up with losing. It's harder to do those things, especially when people aren't as interested in joining podcasts and talking. So I'm also thinking about experimenting doing just one-on-ones with folks. They probably, do they have that over here? Maybe not. Hey, Goki. Apollo looks nice. Much like how the Apollo has one use and it looks like it does it really well and nothing else. That is kind of what it is, though. That is kind of its thing. It doesn't have, they don't have the actual. Whee! Broke my legs. Ooh, I'm gonna check something. Hey, brother, you work? Yeah, I see you there. You're in there. So if you want to join and have your thoughts expressed about the medical system changes, on Discord, you get ! Discord. I think we'll give you the link. You can go join me on Discord, or it's just also in the tabs below.
Well, what can I get you?
Liquor, whiskey, and cola.
Perfect. Let me get that for you.
I mean, it had to be that big. There was no way it was going to be.
That Jada lineup. Last night was one hell of a match.
I like that he talks now, even though he's filling invisible glass.
Give me one moment, okay? what'll it be?
Oh my god, he fucking fucked it up.
Okay. You let me know if you change your mind.
It's better than it used to be.
Back to. I'll turn that off in a second. Let me check it.
Welcome to the ASOC Vehicle Retrieval System.
What do I have here? Not much.
Your insurance claim has been sent. Thank you.
Take that.
Please visit us again. Goodbye.
Oh, what am I doing?
Welcome to the ASOC Vehicle Retrieval System. Your insurance claim has been sent. Thank you.
I'm just gonna
Please
go
visit us again.
eject.
Goodbye.
I gotta go to...
Welcome to the ASOC Vehicle Retrieval System.
No, I don't care why it went missing. Just fix it.
Please
Sorry
visit
about
us
that.
again.
Well,
Goodbye.
oh, right, new contract. Good luck, and you know, try to make sure everything gets where it's supposed to go.
Heard that voice, thought about Star Wars, strange ways make the mind work. Hey, Helder. How about that Apollo? Great looking ship. Yeah. I think if you use the Apollo as the basis for a Connie rework, it could. If you took the Apollo and then made it more Connie-like, but kept the size, I think most people would be happy. You're at Grimhex. Go help Crusaders. Screw ArtCorp. Well, no, I'm almost done with ArtCorp. That's why I need to get that done.
Welcome to the ASOC Vehicle Retrieval System. Vehicle selected. Stand by. Your vehicle has been delivered to the police visitor.
What do you mean it feels like a bunch of wasted space? Where is the space wasted? It has to be that wide open and that tall. It's actually not that tall. It's only slightly taller than the characters. But it has to be that wide open because that main entry foyer is actually a triage location. So the idea behind that is if you have multiple people you need to revive or recover, you bring them on board and drop them off in that location, and then medics will then diagnose what's wrong with them and then put them into the locations they need to be put into. It's designed for mass casualties. Yeah, this width of stretchers as well. You need stretchers and NPCs to be able to move down them, so.
Anvil Aerospace. All systems online.
It even says that in the main hall, in that corridor. It says triage. Like that's what that room is called, the triage room. too zippy.
Raised.
Yeah. I thought you might think to say like, why do we have this big room here? And it's like it's gameplay purposes. It's just not there yet. You can kind of do that now if you need to, but there's not a real reason to do that yet.
Okay.
It does. On either side of the triage, when you go through, there's like the rooms. Those cargo bays are also double as their storage locations. Yeah, I agree. They probably need crash seats somewhere on the sides, kind of like the ones that are in the the trauma turtle and the Pisces, the medical Pisces. I mean, eventually you may need to carry materials and like suits or other things in there eventually. But even then, it's personal equipment is what you're going to be putting in there. And they actually have storage space for the goo on the walls. There's these shelves that actually are designed specifically to hold the goo. This is all Star Citizen music.
Quantum fuel is at 75%.
It probably needs a doctor's office and a passenger seating. The design implies the pilots are the medical team. Without it, it feels like a respawn station in a form of a ship, not a true service platform. I think you got to look at it in terms of like CIG's design, and I do believe that respawn is a major design of the Apollo. That's my hot take, which is I don't think you're going to get a very in-depth medical system out of CIG. I think you're going to get a serviceable one that has enough complexity that requires you to either understand the system or have a specialist who can help you understand it. But you're not going to go for any in-depth. Most of the time, if you can crawl your ass into a medical bed, you can fix yourself. So I think that literally the crew are the medical team. We're not gonna start that. That's not gonna start again for another couple of hours there, Axis. So, I just started it up early because I wanted to make sure it's available so people know where to go. These shells are designed specifically to glitch out and burn through millions of AUEC. Yeah. So we'll start at our normal time, which is in about an hour, 2 hours and 30 minutes. But I wanted to have them open so people knew where to go, because I know people can get confused by that. I work at a hospital. We have elevators for staff and elevators for patients, and then elevators for emergencies. Yeah, I could see maybe adding some elevators to the making the cargo areas elevators for there, unless there was like some specific thing that's getting in the way. Yeah, no, I troubleshot. My streaming issues have been kind of worked out mostly entirely now. I'm just waiting for Twitch to actually support AV1 encoding. What is that? What's the probability of discussion on the medical system becoming the critique of the Apollo? I imagine that we're going to talk a little bit about the Apollo itself. It is sort of the symbol that CIG is using for the new medical system. At least to reveal their plans for the medical system. Okay, so that's not going to work. I'm going to have to go the other side. Holy shit, they do give out more. The Apollo flight crew have their own bunks, plus their own entrance and exit to avoid contact with patients. I think it's very well thought out, especially for a game ship. Yeah, I think people are looking for something more complex than what's likely going to happen.
Hello and welcome aboard your Drake interplanetary craft. Your systems are online.
Shit. Also, Paul, do you want Grand Cruiser System for off-roading? I'm good, Stalker. I just need to do... I need to do basically one, maybe two of these, and I'm done. With ArcCorp at least. It's like 5 of these now to do the to do an entire mission. I'm not going to do all of them. I'm just going to get ArcCorp done. Where is... There it is, I think, yeah. No. We haven't heard anything about Twitch drops. It's weird that people like myself have been saying CIG needs to do Twitch drops at some point for like years. And then the moment I'm like, nah, it's probably not a good idea to do Twitch drops right now. Someone, an outside streamer, I don't think he's a bad guy. I know he just doesn't always do Star Citizen, comes in and says, hey, we should do Twitch drops. They should do Twitch drops. And CIG's like, yes, sir. Let's do this right now, sir. Like, of course. It was a grind getting to 5. Yeah, I'm not going to with it. Not going to complain about it too much because that's just sort of how CIG rolls. Yeah, you didn't hear about that? Basically, I forgot exactly who it was, but I know he's not a Star Citizen streamer. He started off getting popular on like Sea of Thieves and like Tarkov, I think. And he came over to Star Citizen. Wonderful guy. I've rated him multiple times. He's a good dude in general. I've tried to get him on the captain's table a couple times. He hasn't responded though. He claimed, he was saying like, oh yeah, they should do Twitch drops. And then like after he said they should do Twitch drops, they apparently found evidence that there's some sort of Twitch drop connection or Twitch connection.
Warning, you are leaving a safe zone. Landing gear down. Warning, you are leaving a safe zone.
Yeah, this thing handles like a shit. Cruise control on, do I? No. Once this goes down, it ain't coming back up. So I'm going to set her down. Okay. Go get my tractor beam. And then once I'm done, I'm gonna blow her up. I should have opened up all of the modules. Well, the module setups are here. I'll go get my tractor beam first. Kind of in the middle of nowhere, but that's fine. So that's the problem, is that if you try to park closer to the elevator with this one, once it goes down, it doesn't come back up. These things are basically broken in that sense. So trying to do precise landing with it is not easy. I don't know if it's all caterpillars or just these rescued caterpillars, but they're a problem. Because I plan on, first off, I had to come in and do this. They didn't have that. You mean they break the cargo elevators? No, 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 no. Like, you have to be very precise with your landing. Because once these land, you can't take off again. They are stuck to the pads. I don't know if it's all caterpillars, but chat's saying it's only the rescue ones. By the rescue ones, of course, they mean these ones that you can pick off of the missions. I'll show you, watch. I'm landed right now. If I try to take off, this is full power. This is boost. Managed to get off a little bit, but it just definitely wants to. Come on. Oh. There we go. I don't think it's the cargo mass. I think it's because they're damaged.
Hello and welcome aboard your Drake interplanetary craft. Your systems are online.
Yeah, these are dog ass. They really need to be telescoping. They need to have that Canada-Arm side of sort of like push out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump out. Yeah, these things are packed to the fucking rafters, aren't they?
Mission complete. Burrito I eat. There you go.
It's a pub chat, Luna. So it's gonna be whoever wants to come on and talk through the Discord. If we get no one to talk, then we won't have one. But I think we'll get people to talk. God damn it. Out you go. By the way, chat, this is just one module. They're all like this. Medical supplies. Neat. All right, I'm gonna load this up. So in theory, this could hold absolutely everything. We'll see if it does. Yeah, but it doesn't take medical supplies for the actual mission, right? That's not something you need for the Second Life initiative. It does? Oh. Nope, I don't think it can only do 4 high. The second live mission takes all 99 boxes, yeah. Guess I totally broke the inventory and made the ship spawn normal cargo instead. Hey, I'm okay with that. Because now you only have to do... like 5 of these missions and you get basically everything. Okay, so the medical, you cannot drop the medical off for credit, is what you're saying. But you can sell them still. Six runs. feel like I need my atlas for this. I'm gonna go pull up an atlas.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Please visit us again.
I also noticed that Hurston guards are recruiting from from other 50-ish of the human population. What do you mean? There'd be Hurston ladies. Ooh. Hurston ladies. Oh, yeah. Listen, they may be totalitarian feudal lords, but at least they're not sexist. When I opened up YouTube earlier, I recommended Star Citizen eSport event. Well, there's a couple of them that are going on. Was it Atmo Esports? Yes, there are scavengers and there are security personnel or mercenaries that are fighting each other. Plus, you have the Copians, and then you have another group which... Yeah. They do a series of events. They pretty much every season they have a new event. Maybe every month or so. Like System 7... Daymar Rally, Fight or Flight. Bar so low they had to subcontract Shubin to find it. Jesus, the front is loaded up? I think we're not doing Pirate Week clues, we're doing Hathor. Why? What's the Pirate Week clues do? It depends on what the officers want or what everybody wants to do. Do I have to find stuff in the game? Is that what's going on? It's like a bad Jenga puzzle. Everything else should come out now, once I've done that. Why does this make you angry? Why? Oh, there's some spot back here. Do not unload from the top to the bottom in real life. Okay, but that's how we have to do it here. People love the Caterpillar because its asymmetric design makes it sort of look more ad hoc. And I could see the appeal in terms of like it being a ship that you can kind of do a lot in. It's pretty forgiving and has a lot of value for like unloading. But when you fill it to the fucking gills, it becomes very difficult to use. Yes. Yeah, most people like the aesthetic. They don't necessarily like the functionality. The tractor beams are well intentioned, but they're shit. The oh. It suffers from the same thing that every other ship, early ship in Star Citizen does. It was what we think the gameplay is going to be, not what the gameplay actually is. Yeah, it wasn't designed for the cargo we have now. Yep, if they made it one single bay and they did big ramps, I think it would be a lot easier for people to use. The cat was supposed to be a large hauler that can be repaired, operated at low cost. It's supposed to be a large hauler that can be patched together with common materials found at outposts, like all Drake ships. However, with those what we see with those systems, I'm still waiting. We're probably not going to. How things have changed in Star Citizen is very different. Okay. Fuck you, Sposher. I can do what I want. Where is that? I'm gonna spend the entirety of the pre-show doing this, aren't I? Though this will get me the last of my my stuff, I think. I'm gonna just dump all of this and then... There's gotta be like 1 or 2 more in there. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, time for the Atlas. When I got the ATLS out, the elevator vanished, half of them. It's a weird bug. There we go. CAD is very useful for taking multiple cargo contracts and stringing together a bunch of locations and compartments. Elevator guy? Did you guys see the elevator guy video? Or that shit? Oh, yeah, I know the elevator guy. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So it's not actually a CIG member. It's a dude who just helped load people. It was helping load people in an ATLS. Almost done. You have to do it orderly because there's like 600 of these, and there's only this thing's supposed to have like 1,000. That's not good. Shit. Yep. Yep, I can't reopen anything. Yeah, okay, Shadow, you can come help me. There we go. Listen, you unable to initialize Carp. You're pushing the luck already, buddy. All right, buddy. I'll see you sometime somewhere else. Hey, Stigger. My defense, I don't own a cat. So I didn't know that this was going to be as tight as it was. Not those kinds of cats, Dars. You know that. What do you... Thank you, Shadow Stalker. Sorry. And then I almost kill him. Did I just kill you, Shadowstalker? Okay. Good. No good deed. If you want to start loading stuff up, Shadowstalker, feel free. Nah, you can do it in one person.
This last one is a pain in the ass. Let me get it.
Okay. There we go. There we go. Shit. There we go. Do. I think that's it. Thank you, Shadowstalker. No, I know the Z. The problem with the Z is that the larger ones are difficult to maneuver to get them in properly. What? What, Darsh? I mean, yeah, if you want to get it for today. Otherwise, I'll show you what I have planned at least. And that's it.
Hey, it's Elle. Guess what? Our corp's been so impressed with your hustle out there that they're sending you a little something as thanks. Pretty nice, right? Almost makes me wish I was a contractor. Anyway, enjoy and keep up the good work.
It's done. It's finished. I went over by a lot. I had 2,600 left. I went over by a lot. The only other one I have any decent shot at is Microtech. Sorry, Darsh. If you can get this done, that's great. But let me show you what I have right for today. So this is what I've been using for that. It works fine, but I know I asked you to see if you could come whip something up for it, but I found that image is a pretty good image to use for just random color. It fits. I didn't think you'd be available to do it for today.
All right. Our corp appreciates you completing your delivery and oh crap. Sorry, I have to take this other comm.
I think it was something for a proper call-in show. What? You haven't put that lizard spam button in yet? I will, but the lizard spam button is going to be for whatever that system that Loken uses, where you have to pay bits for it. Tangia. Yeah, I have to set that up. Yeah, of course I'm getting Tangia. But I'm going to use it similar to the system we have now, only it'll be for, like, the really annoying ones. Like, I'll put the entirety of the, you know... Come, visit Orison.
Landing gear up.
They must have done some fixes with the hot fixes, because this was not possible earlier. Freedom for 50,000 for 5,000 bits. Hey, listen, I have no problem with trolling. With y'all trolling with
Genesis.
For money. No, I'm not gonna do caramel dancing. That's not my style.
For y'all.
Yoda sex, hopefully. Oh, Yoda sax, hopefully. Everyone's got a price.
Mission complete. Burrito.
Sports even while you can't
I
check.
eat. There you go.
I'm Fly. I'm Pilot.
All right, let me look up Tangia while we're here. So again, for those of you who don't know how this captain's table is going to work, it's going to be a call-in show. So if you want to come in and answer the questions, the main topic is going to be about the medical systems, the medical changes that have happened, and the changes that are proposed. We'll talk a little bit about the Apollo as well, your thoughts on it, that kind of thing. So we'll go for as long as we have callers. The idea is that you have 5-10 minutes to speak or so. So we get at least 6 to 7 people. If we have more people who want to come and talk, that's great. Just try to keep it on topic. Is there an echo? Oh, you're joking. Okay.
Landing gear down.
That's not a good idea.
Landing gear up.
Okay. Check this out.
Hey, this is Tangia Dan, one of the developers at Tangia. If you can hear me, then it's working. If not, make sure you turn on monitor output for your Tangia browser source.
There we go.
I didn't hear no bell.
There's a couple good ones on here already.
Two words. Distress bacon.
Interesting. Let's figure it out.
Loser!
That's fun. I wish I could just toggle them all off and then figure out how to get them to work.
Spectacular. Give me 14 of.
All right, I'll mess with this on my own. You can hear it? That's good. God, there's so many. I'll figure this out later. All right. By Genie. Hey, Sergeant Lobster. So we're going to be doing another pub chat. So this is sort of, we did an experimental one earlier, where we're basically going to be bringing on people from the chat. You can just go into the Discord, and we'll be in like an event stage. And there you can hop on, and then if you have a question, if you have a statement you want to talk about with this specific event, the specific thing, you let me know. So like, if you go in there, and I'll bring people up one at a time, give them the stage, talk a little bit about whatever the topic is. The topic for today is the medical changes. So like, do you like the medical changes? Do you not? That kind of thing. And also about the future and the Apollo and that kind of stuff. Yeah. So on Discord, I've got a stage set up. Oh, you're talking about like how people. No, there's been a couple of people saying they don't like the Apollo, even in chat here. Yeah, people are. Some people want like more room for vehicles. They want space for a medical office, place seats for a crew, so it's not just the pilots. There are, as always, plenty of good critiques, like the fact that you have to get all your cargo through this tiny little airlock and possibly bump into patients and go through the triage center to get this cargo in is kind of nonsensical. Having elevators that go having the cargo bay be elevators that descend so you can load it up and load it back up makes a little bit more sense in terms of the flow. Wait, Greasy's being vocal? Fuck. I'm glad I left Twitter. Just hate listening to that. My question is supposed to be an ambulance or a hospital on wings? Yes. It's a flying clinic. Not really a hospital, not really an ambulance. It's somewhere between the two. Yeah. I feel like it should be considered a MASH unit. Yeah, but they don't have funny, quick one-liners. There's no radar there. So how without radar or, you know, any of those funny doctors, how are we gonna, you know, determine what's a MASH unit or not? Yeah, Hawkeye. Yeah, but it's not the same kind. I want the dedicated med guns to be locked behind a progressive mission string that make you do medical treatment gameplay as well as a quota of confirmed rescues. What? So no one can use the medical gun unless they have reputation boost? The stage because I have spicy take, but that's fine. Camberell seems to have mellowed a bit. I'll believe it when I see it. Reputation as in medical certification? I don't know if that'd work. All right, I'm gonna go get some water, and then we'll kind of talk a little bit about medical. The standard multi-tool unit would... Well, the standard multi-tool doesn't do auto treatment. Yeah, it does work. I'll be right back, chat. I think if CIG is not going to make medical much more complicated than it is now, then locking the dedicated medical, the ability to purchase a dedicated medical tool behind certification would make sense. The problem is that CIG has given those tools out for free So people would always have access to them if they'd already purchased them or if they'd already gotten them in those sort of free packets and stuff like that. All right, I'll be right back, chat. God, if they got a higher tier medical weapon, medical stuff, I don't. The problem comes down to, yeah, we'll talk about that. Let me get some water so I don't parch to death. Sorry about that, y'all. All right. Most medical beacons aren't even beacons, really. They're usually new people who don't know what they're doing. Okay, thank you. I love some of these callers. All right. I'll be right. We'll come right back to this chat. There we go. Do. Go. I like that. The phone lines are open to talking. Yes, you can actually come in and talk. Let me. I'm gonna add one more here, and I'll add the rest of them later. Ooh, I can do this. Hold on. There we go. Yes. Not MSR, Reclaimer on Microtech. The callers are gangs of the verse. Well, I just have all of them. I have them rotated now, so they can rotate through. Change this real quick. There we go. All right. Might need a fire rat. These are just things that Darj pulled. All these images are from Mr. Haskaha. Hello, Paul. If that is your real name, I'm calling from ASD Onyx facility to say I've uncovered evidence of the plot to introduce Vandal genetics into people's regen. Yeah. I'm gonna do something real quick. But yeah, the topic is medical gameplay. I think CIG has actually forgotten about Parker Terrell. I don't think the writers have, but everyone else may have. Like, I do think CIG has opened up an avenue with the next part of ASD storyline, but I don't think they've actually intended. What do you mean? How you doing, old man scene? Jacaro, you joke, but... I mean, we can talk about the BTU spoilers a little bit, but him what? Him joking? No, so we know who plays Parker Terrell. Parker Terrell is played by a famous actor. We know because it's been leaked that this actor plays this character in Squadron. Yes, Peter Capaldi. One of the actors who played Doctor Who. I'm not. This is an old leak. Almost certainly, yeah, you probably have no idea. You probably, if you asked him directly on it, he probably would vaguely recall being part of a video game, 10 years ago. Which is why it's going to be very hard for them to do, Parker Terrell, like, sit-down shots. Unless Capaldi is really cool. I don't know. Yeah, Parker Terrell is like a more legit version of Alex Jones. Like, Parker Terrell was an investigative journalist who did a lot of, like, exposés on, like, corruption and such. And then he disappeared for, like, a week. And everyone thought that he had been killed. And then they found him just randomly. I can't remember where, but he was just out in the middle, out of nowhere. And people asked, "What the hell were you doing?" People thought you were dead. And he was like, "No, the people were trying to come after me. That's the reason why I ran away." And after that, it was implied that he intentionally disappeared to spark controversy and panic. So he got fired from his job, and then as a result, he started a new Spectrum show. Spectrum is kind of like the internet meets the television. There are shows that are played on Spectrum that have, like, times when they go out, but it's also like the communications platform, like the internet. So he started his own show on Spectrum called The Plain Truth, where he sort of talks about, like, conspiracies, and he brings on guests to talk about their information and such. Raid. Chachi! Welcome over from Chachi Stream. My name is Paul, Berserker 1, Batman Shelly. You rock. Shots. Well, your space bar at the end of the universe. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. We got a good one for you. VR citizen community. Nice. How is that going there, Chachi? With the mobile VR rig I'm bringing. Oh, you're gonna be down. You're gonna be down. You brought it last time, didn't you, Chachi? To the Bar Citizen event we did. Not your fault, Paul. You were starstruck to be talk of the great Capaldi returning to Star Citizen. Well, no, I mean, like, I'm imagining that Capaldi is a pretty busy dude, and he's a I don't want to say normal actor, because all actors who do like mocap and voice work are actual actors, but typically a mocap actor is somebody who has spent a lot more like time and invest. Like a voice actor has sort of is more open to the idea of putting on a suit, going in, doing these sorts of lines and leaving. And that can take a lot more time and effort than just going onto a set, getting makeup, getting getting on a clothes and walking on to do some acting. So there's that sort of mix. Because the thing that CIG wants to do is they want to have these shows, the Plain Truth, Sure Shot, Star something, not Star Sector, but like Star Report or something like that. All of these different shows, kind of like what they have now with the Spectrum news broadcast, these like sort of 60-second broadcasts they do with Jared with these news updates. They want to have rotating shows that are stuff they've been writing, including the Plain Truth. So you'd probably have to get Capaldi back for like a solid couple of days to do shoots for like a year. A screen actor, yeah. Yeah, I got a few changes to the rig. It should work a lot better this time. Nice. Your local party got canned? That sucks. Like there's a difference in what Andy Serkis does as an actor for mocap and then other actors that haven't really spent a lot of much time doing mocap characters. It's a different, like I can imagine, I've heard it, a lot of actors feel kind of embarrassed by it, and it's just kind of difficult to act because it's like acting in a green screen. And it's also lower in terms of its like status, it being a video game, even though I find that funny. Like literally it's hilarious to think that video games are a lower form of entertainment, but it's like, yeah, but everyone engages in it. Everyone does. More people engage with video games on a daily basis than they engage with any traditional media. And it's a different skill set, yeah. And especially if you didn't grow up with video games, it can be very difficult to envision what you're doing. I do not have a lot of acting experience. The reason why I have acting experience is because when I was in college and I did theater, I was a theater minor. I could have been a major, but I decided to not try to double major. The theater needed men to act because they didn't have enough men who were acting. So I volunteered to help out and I took classes in it. I never said I'm a good actor. Let's just say that. But I probably have a better understanding of the 3D space if I was to be doing like mocap than most actors would, because I kind of get what a video game is and how that space works and how players can interact with you and that kind of stuff. We're gonna get started here a little bit later, but if you want to join in, so we're doing the acting. I've got Dell and Axis here. If you want to come in and to have your talk, your thoughts on medical gameplay, go into our Discord. It's !Discord or in the area below, and feel free to share your thoughts on the medical changes and where things are going. Like Doug Jones is a good example of a character actor that has skill wearing prosthetics to give a full body experience. Yeah. Oh yeah, Paul, my meds are slowly working. That's awesome. Ringo, the 3D animated Western with Johnny Depp as a lizard, was shot all on soundstage using their mocap for facial body positioning. Yeah, I know that. I remember Ringo. Yeah. I've heard about that one. Yeah. It was 3D animated, but it was done like almost claymation. So I need to see Astro as a Star Citizen character. Only if CIG wants me. But my point being is that not all actors have that skill or have that desire to be in stuff like that. It can be intimidating and difficult to try to step out of your boundaries like that. Paul becomes Parker Terrell's arch rival. The historian. You're wrong, Art. You're wrong, Parker. You're not wrong, but you always find that leap in logic at the end, buddy. I don't think they want me to do bartending. Is there any part you'd love to play on Star Citizen? In Star Citizen? I'd love to be part of the Ark. A character on the Ark. Or work for the Ark in some way. Man, if I could make Senator Strong a canon character, I'd love it, but that's not going to happen. Paul's a Marine sub-boss. I don't know if like any factions I'd probably be part of. Part of a Redeemer crew. That was what they do, yes. Senator Armin Strong of the Synth World system. Acting has many different flavors. There's much diversity from VO to mocap and stage work. Some actors are niche and have niche comfort working. Like, don't get me wrong. Anna has a great amount of range. She's been in television shows. She's played the lead in a television show. She has done voice acting for a ton of different projects. She's done voice acting and mocap for Star Citizen. Like, she is very good at that, but I don't know if she could act as like Andy Serkis, you know, or you mentioned him earlier, tall guy, plays a lot of. He's in Star Trek actually, but he's been in a lot of other ones as well. Like, you know, those sorts of beast characters are very, very specific. Doug Jones, yeah. They're very specific in how they play. All I'm saying is I don't know Capaldi's comfort levels or typically his availability. Though I would absolutely love to see Parker Terrell in the verse. And in a show to hear him talk live with his segments. I've actually heard some of his audio. It's been a while, but I remember hearing some of his. I was like, wait, that's Peter Capaldi. This was after it had already been leaked that he was part of there as Parker Terrell. Oh. I'd be content with whatever he chose to provide, even if it's just voiceover for audio podcasts. I think doing audio podcasts, because that would the plain truth makes the most sense as an audio podcast to me, because it is definitely it's inspired by InfoWars, it's inspired by Coast to Coast. It's very much that sort of he's sort of that sort of character. A little bit of gosh, Q-Pen probably knows him. He was a local radio host in New York for a long time, and then he got his own talk show. He wore suspenders all the time, loved to smoke like a chimney, skinny dude, glasses. I just blanking on his name because I think he passed away a while ago, so I don't think he's done any work, obviously. Not Stern, Larry King. Thank you, Larry King. Hey, guys, Sea Turtle. So we've got 3 people so far for the stage. I will. I'm gonna take a few more minutes, and then we'll do the kind of the intro. Feel free to join us if you want to join us. We'll be starting here in about 20 minutes or so. Because I don't really have to do much setup, so. Smoked like a chimney. I remember seeing him, like, the classic sort of talking to a microphone with a cigarette in his hand. I might be wrong about that. Yeah, I managed to balance it. When I unplugged the camera and plugged it back in, it just got completely reset the balance, so. Dang, that main menu music is getting worn out. I love this main menu music. It's a great little, just sort of there. He passed away in 2021, yeah. I thought he had passed away, but he had been retired from his show for 6-7 years by that point, I think. He'd been away. Oh yeah, by the time he got the TV interview show on CNN, he was known for his gravelly voice. I only knew that he was a radio show host because he was into Ghostbusters. And it's Larry King as a radio host in Ghostbusters. And I'm like, what? And I looked it up and found out that he got his show start as a radio host, doing like talk shows, taking callers and stuff like that. Yeah. Larry King was in Ghostbusters. Yeah. He's in one of that intro where, like, right after they bust their first ghosts, and he's like, ghosts, they're everywhere, you know? Yeah. It may be Ghostbusters 2, but I think it was Ghostbusters 1. Yeah, the ghost montage. And that was before he had become big. He was, at the time, pretty well known in New York as a radio host. Yeah, he asked Ray, how is Elvis, and have you seen him lately? Yeah. The first Ghostbusters film, yeah. He might have been on Independence Day. But by that time, Larry King was on television. He was on CNN, I think, by that time. Blink and you'll miss it? Yeah. He was in, I think, Contact as well. But he was in a lot of movies. He was definitely a sport. He would play a news guy. He would play himself in many modern sort of movie adaptations. It was the first one, yeah. Remember, the first one was 1984, I think. I don't think he got his television. Let me look it up. Oh, so he was he worked in Florida first. In 1978, King began hosting a nightly coast-to-coast radio program on the Mutual Broadcasting System, inheriting the talk show slot that hit with Herb Jepko. The Larry King Show is broadcast Monday through Friday from midnight to 5:30 a.m. Larry King began on CNN in June of 1985. He hosted a broad range of guests from figures such as UFO conspiracy theorists and alleged psychics. He was married 8 times to 7 women. Wow. Yeah, that was his first role was 1984 in the Ghostbusters. So it was a year before he actually got his television show. He was in The Exorcist 3. Contact. Yeah, he was in Contact. I knew it was in Contact. He was in Contact. Enemy of the State. He was in Shrek the Third. As B. Larry King. As Doris. Oh, he was Doris? In Shrek? Interesting. Who did he go back for seconds? Yeah. An interview on Larry King Show with and one with Barbara Walters. Baba Wawas. Yes. I got caught by you there, Jaded. Sorry. See, these are the weird things that stick into my brain. That Larry King was in Ghostbusters 1. I was gonna say that is very much the style of I think that the style that would work with The Plain Truth is a Larry King live sort of show. I know it's InfoWars inspired, but I think it can all it's because he's like a legitimate journalist. Anderson Cooper. Yeah, so I think this may not be the first movie, but I think it was the first movie to extensively use real news anchors in the movie. But Contact famously used as many news like real life people as they could, including footage of Bill Clinton as president, to try, and it cut up some images of him to like make it sound like he was talking about the contact. Yeah, Parker Terrell is Larry King. Yeah. He's Larry King with a little bit more conspiratorial bent. Just looking at his life, he, like, a lot of his stuff was the Graveyard Shift, which is, you know, Coast to Coast that was my Coast to Coast. It was Coast to Coast for me with Art Bell. UK broadcasters have been in films making plot relevant announcements in BBC, Sky for years and years and years. No, sadly not Space Coast. It's fallen down a lot, and I don't listen to it anymore. I don't work the Graveyard Shift anymore, so I don't have to. But it's also just not as fun as it used to be. But Art Bell used to do a show called Coast to Coast. It's like 2-3 hours, midnight to like 2-3 a.m. Wild stuff. The original Parker Terrell. So he was not a reporter. King would take callers all across the nation, and his trademark was introducing a caller where they were and from an enthusiastic hello. Yeah. Like Sioux City, Iowa. Hello. Yeah. Same generation. Hey, Chris. I'm gonna let the historian out a little bit, and then we'll get back to the topic, and then we'll actually do this. But it's interesting to talk about people like Art Bell and Larry King, because I think they really set the bar and the tone for what we expect in news anchoring today. Because people forget, by the time Larry King was doing, people like Larry King were doing their shows, their like radio shows in the 70s, and like the mid 80s. By the mid 80s, there were obviously national news programs, but most national news programs were like very short, 1 to 2 hour blocks. Sometimes in the day, sometimes towards the evening. Usually it's the evening news, unless there was some major thing that happened. And most people would just get local news. So it was usually just like, if you were going to watch television, you'd see a local news broadcast. And like Anchorman's a great example of that. Anchorman is sort of a send-up of local news broadcasters. But like, being on CNN, people like Larry King and other people that, like, I think Anderson Cooper to a degree, he's younger though, really sort of set that up, you know. Yeah, Ted Koppel, Dan Rather, Walter Cronkite, they're a little older, but yeah, that whole generation established what television is, television news is. Because I don't even know when they started doing serious news, like regular news broadcasts on television. Probably has been around since the beginning, but it wasn't, I guess it wouldn't be until like the 60s that it really took off. And while that sounds like it's a long time ago, it's really not. It's like 2 generations. Was it Koppel who said good night and good luck? I forgot who that was. Was that Walter Winchell? It was Edward Murrow. Yeah, the Vietnam War made that type of news show mainstream. Late 60s, early 70s. That and the moon landings. I would say the moon landings were probably more, because it was the first event television. There wasn't really event television until NASA was landing people on the goddamn moon. I'd say the first event was the Cuban Missile Crisis. That's probably good, a better look into it. All right, I'm gonna do that. All right, chat, we're gonna do this. So, we're gonna sit here and talk. Just for a little bit. If you want to come in and join us, so far there's 3 people. The topic is, or 4 people now. The topic is, the medical system. Changes to the medical system, your thoughts on the changes to the medical system, the future of medical system, and of course your thoughts on the Apollo. My grandfather has seen the electricity, black and white, plus color TV coming, computers, internet, mobile phones, and in his life. It's insane. The amount of technological advancement that's taken place over the last 100 years is absolutely crazy. There were people born in 1900 who had enough memory to remember both world wars, the Cold War, the rise of the automobile, the airplane, the telephones, the internet, like computers, like all of that coming out. I mean, I know my audience is older. Y'all tend to be between the ages of 20 and or 25 and 50. And I'm sort of smack dab in the middle of that. But I remember a time before the internet. Most of you do too. it's a weird time. I remember when the Berlin Wall fell. I was barely alive when that happened, but I remember it. I remember hearing it on television. That's all I remember. They read a man born in 1890 and brought him into a first-generation fighter jet as a passenger. It's wild. Yeah. My great aunt was alive, and she said the most amazing thing was when she was at a house that had all electronics spread out on a table, and the sounds came out of the speaker. The first radio was magical. I can imagine, yeah. Yes. We're just reminiscing about other stuff. We changed the title. Oh, it's already there. It's good. Grandma learned college in the mid to late 50s that they were still using COBOL punch cards in like 80 years apart, or not 80s, like 30, 40 years apart. Oh God, the U.S. Library of Congress. Yeah, I remember green and black monitors. I remember the first color monitors. Less than a month, I'll be 62. It's just a weird fucking time to be alive. I'm 38, Chris. Almost 39. I was born in 87. But you gotta remember that color monitors weren't an instant thing. Computers had started to take off by the time I was born, but my parents didn't adopt computers until I was, 9. Like, the first computer I had didn't have Windows. It had DOS, Windows DOS, but it didn't have, like, the typical visual graphic user interface sort of stuff. Thank you, Mopar. A game that it's Commodore 64 brought. No, I'm not that old. You had a ZX Spectrum? Yeah. Yeah. I remember Pong. I used to own a TI-86. I mentioned to my grandfather what it was, what it could do, how much it could cost, etc. He was bemused. He went upstairs and brought down his first calculator. I printed out a paper, plugged it into the wall, and could do basic arithmetic. They cost about the same amount. Damn. Not like taking shots at your age. I'm way older than you. Just respect it for you knowing and appreciating technology of the past. I'm a historian, Chris. This is what I do. All right. Topic at hand. Medical gameplay changes. I'm gonna stop the YouTube and start up the YouTube and start up the other YouTube. So if you're in the Astro Pub YouTube, you're gonna be dropped over to the Captain's Table YouTube. If you don't get dropped over, go join us in the Captain's Table podcast YouTube.